Today we're testing out the UZ Energy Server Rack battery. And this battery was designed in Germany, but it's still made in China. And it has UL9540A. And it's actually cheaper than a Ruxu or an EG4. But the battery that's dominating right now in the server rack space is the eco-worthy. It's $850, and it also has UL9540A. So the competition is tough. But it was designed in Germany, so let's try to find something cool inside. So first off, I did a capacity test and it pulled 101.6 amp hours, which is very typical for a server rack battery. Now this battery is called the Model A. You have a state of charge indicator, the communication ports, an on and off switch, a DC rated circuit breaker, and it has Wi-Fi, but you can remove the antenna, which is fantastic. And here are the main terminals, but they're pretty small because it's designed to be used with a bus bar, and a quite capable bus bar, and I'll show you that in a minute. Holy cow. This might be better than a Doya. This is crazy. Look at these cell holders. They're using 90-degree lugs, which you never see. Next, I don't think I've seen this on any other battery. Usually the fire extinguisher, even on server rack batteries, is over the cells. And I always thought that was useless. But some people said it's for the electronics burning. And on this one, they actually put it right next to the BMS. Next, the BMS has a massive inductor so it can control the current. Next, check out these temperature sensors. They're spot welded to the bus bars and they're part of this ribbon. And everything has a coding, every single wire. Look at the organization with this tape holding this balance lead and how it goes out to each cell. And it looks so cool. It's like a medical grade battery or something. Also, the plugs are all glued and we have screw terminals for the BMS. Even the case is so nice, like these handles come out from the side. Now something I don't like is how they supported the cells. We have a lot of support on the sides, but then the support in the middle comes from these terminals being bolted to this bar. But down here we don't have anything supporting it or holding it down, which can prevent shipping damage. On a lot of batteries you have a large bar that goes across the cells, and this one doesn't have that. So this battery needs to be pallet shipped. You cannot flip these upside down. Now besides that, I don't see anything else.
Now for the next test, we're cycle testing this battery, and the other three are connected to a 12,000 XP. And that thing is hot. We are pushing 100 amps continuous. And the cables are at 196 degrees Fahrenheit. And the case is at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And the test is almost done, so we'll come back in a few minutes. It was so close. So at a 1C rate, we got 99.8 amp hours. Now for the next test, I connected an Ethernet cable to this top battery, and I set the 12,000 XP to battery type 2. And it actually worked, and it shows the state of charge. So now we're gonna try to charge an EV. But first we need this top battery, and we need to charge it.
Now on the side of the case, you have the bus bars, and this is how all the batteries connect to the inverter. And you need to be very careful working in here because it could cause a nasty short. Now on the top, you have the holes, and this is where you route your supply conductors down to the bus bar. What's nice about the bus bar is because there's equal length conductors, you won't have any current sharing issues. And right now we're mostly charged up and we're connected to a 12,000 XP, so let's put a load on it. Now this battery was at a very different state of charge because we did that 100 amp test. So right now it's only charging itself with 10 amps. It's using the BMS's current limiting feature so it can charge itself up slowly. Now most of these batteries have the older long Wi-Fi stick, but they replaced it with this one. And you need this one if you want it to work with the app. Now to fulfill the requirements of a 12,000 XP, we only need 3 batteries, because those can output 15,000 watts, but we have 5. So for communication, I'm just gonna hook up 3 for this test. Now the car is connected.
And now we're charging with 48 amps, which is 242 amps. Now I have the app connected to the top battery, and it shows me the voltage, the current, and everything else. And everything on the bus bar is under 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And it looks like this one's not in safety mode anymore.
So after the last test, I pushed 400 amps into the battery until they were full. That's 20,480 watts. And the wires got pretty toasty, but everything worked. Now time for the things I don't like. So the hardware was good, the communication setup was perfect, but the app took some work. I had to shut it down and turn it back on to get things to connect. For example, it would say that it was connected, but I couldn't make a station, and I had to shut down the app and then try again, and then it worked. Next, the app name is called Powerwall X. but the battery's name is UZ. If you type that into the App Store, you're gonna get the UZ portal, but this is the wrong app. And if you don't know that, you're gonna be messing with the wrong app all day long saying it doesn't work. So yeah, very frustrating. The name on these batteries should match the app as close as possible. Also, to connect, it's not under station or battery, it's under logger config. And then once that's connected, you can go back out and then make a station. But like I said, you need to shut down the app again. It's just a bunch of annoying little bugs. Now, considering this battery is cheaper than EG4 and Ruxu, and it has CATL cells, it's actually pretty good in its class. But EcoWorthy is selling a 9540A battery for $850, and some batteries are as low as $600 that are not UL listed. I think if this battery came out before EG4, it would be crazy popular. The build quality is fantastic, but at that price point today, it's a tough sell. Now, something I've noticed with residential server rack batteries is they're very small. This one is only 5 slots tall. Right now, I have a commercial industrial high voltage system that has 11 slots, but with residential, you have that cap. I think it's like 40 kilowatt hours. Because you really notice it on this one. When it's next to the other batteries, you're like, why is it so tiny? Now, this company has higher voltage batteries, so hopefully I can test those in the near future, and they have a larger capacity. But I really hope they fix the app by that time. That was the only annoying thing. But overall, a pretty good battery. Now, if you get this battery or anything else from this company and you have any problems, I would love to hear about it. Because it's so new, I don't know much about the long-term use of this product at all. So if you have any problems, please let me know. I hope you liked the video and the testing that I did, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.